seeing these parents with these kids that were not developing, that were not growing, that were having serious, serious problems really put it in perspective for me. These people had problems. I will never have problems, most likely, that these people have. And I think as I kind of went through that experience, that's what then stuck in my head as, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous that given where the technology is today, these people wait so long for the testing. They can't even get access to testing. The clinicians don't even tell them about the testing because it costs $20,000 to get it and very likely won't give them an answer anyway. That's when it kind of all started coming together. So I kind of, at that point, put it together. I knew where the next generation sequencing technology was going. Effectively, the cost per base of the human genome was dropping off faster than Moore's law, which I think, I mean, we all know what Moore's law did for, computing, networking, and everything that has followed. And it was pretty clear about 5 years ago, this is what's going to happen in medicine. This is what's going to happen in genetics. And, we're going to go figure out how to make this work. So we decided, it was myself, a couple other people that were working with me at the time. We kind of popped out, decided to go start a company. And the idea was, hey, let's build a company that will consolidate the 3,000 to 4,000 some odd genetic disorders, the tests for these 3,000, 4,000 different genetic tests, consolidate it into one highly efficient, industrialized platform, production line, to consolidate the entire genetic testing industry, drive the price to the floor, and make it available to everybody. And that's what we started with. And while there was no way at that time I could really know exactly where it was going, I certainly couldn't know that I would be standing here today telling you about it. That's essentially what we are doing. So Invitae now, we are, we're basically hell-bent for leather on bringing genetic testing into mainstream medical care for literally billions of people on the planet. Anybody in the developed healthcare system can benefit from this. I mentioned the 3,000 to 4,000 genetic disorders, that I kind of became familiar with, many years ago. In fact, it affects possibly up to 10% of any given population. Up to 10% of a population has an inherited genetic disorder. It's just that they're so fragmented. 3,000 to 4,000 of them are spread that any one of them seems small enough. The biggest market, consolidated market by far, is the breast cancer testing. Myriad does it, et cetera. But there's a long tail of these genetic disorders. And so that's what we set out to do. And indeed, thankfully, that's what we're still doing. We went out to raise money. This was end of 2009. Not the best year to go out and raise venture capital. And in fact, it turns out we pitched to more than 110 places, firms, funds, what have you. It turns out half of them didn't have any money. So, seeing where those firms went now, half of them just didn't have any money. The crash had happened, things were rearranging, capital was getting reallocated. So it was a long haul. We pitched to more than 110, really for about a year. It was a fairly tough time. Actually, that was kind of the first set. About maybe 6 to 9 months into it, was the first time I really faced the potential for failure, like squarely in the face. The team that we were working with, there were 4 of us. We were kind of self-funding it. We had some space. We got going. We started originally in the Tres Agaves tequila tasting room up there in San Francisco. We're there for about a month and a half. One of the co-founders knew the owner, so we holed up there. Then we moved to the QB3 space over in Mission Bay. So we had some space. We got some of the equipment up and running, and we were getting going. Confident that we were going to raise money, but then after 6 to 9 months, just no after no after no after no. Part of the team started shaking loose a little bit. They needed to go get a job. Their spouses were like, hey, how long are you going to pursue this crazy dream? That summer, right before we got a couple of these firms interested, was definitely the first time, certainly in my career ever, that I really stared failure in the face. I'm a fairly confident individual. No one's ever accused me of a lack thereof. But boy, that experience there, that was trying. And that's, by the way, that's why I think you should do it. I think you should do it just for that experience. It's been invaluable to me. Just facing that failure in the face, pulling these 3 people along, invaluable, and really actually, frankly, prepares you for the next phases of company formation.